I would like to address yesterday's video because the initial point that I wanted to get across, I just didn't manage to actually get across. Now, the thing that I wanted to do initially was sort of have my task managers somewhere here, if you can even see my cursor right now. It didn't exactly work out because I wanted to draw more attention to the FPS counter, the thing that I'm showing in the draft video that I wanted to use. But I would like to show something. For that I need this lovely game called Gary's Mod, if it will actually start. Now this is Gary's Mod. The marvelous thing about this game is that, similarly to TF2, it is also based on my source engine. I'm going to show you something by going on the exact map that I was on for that video. This time I would like to address this FPS counter up there. That's really the only thing that matters for this. The initial thing that I wanted to see with yesterday's video was if the new GPU, the RX 550, actually benefited my overall gaming experience while recording games. From that video, at least for me, it's obvious that it really didn't. TF2 is more of a CPU bound game, but something that I noticed partially when making the thumbnail for that video in gmod. Ever since Jungle Inferno, TF2's frame rate in average has dropped for me significantly. To kind of show this is Badlands in gmod. You can see I am getting 40 FPS, like, at the least. I mean, this map is pretty well optimized. The frame rate in this game is higher than in TF2. But not only that, I'm playing at 1080p, but also I'm playing at high everything, including 8 times anti-aliasing. And my FPS is still higher. TF2 just seems to be coded worse than gmod. Now, of course, you can pretty say there's, there's not any other players and stuff, but just for shits and giggles, let me open up TF2 and open Badwater and single player. Now, keep in mind, TF2 on my PC is running at 720p with an FPS config. So it means I should, in theory, be getting the maximum amount of FPS. 20 minutes later, because I couldn't find Badwater, it was all the way at the bottom of the list, instead of, with the rest of the payload maps, for some fucking reason. So this is either the point where my statement is completely turned towards me and I don't upload this video, or my argument holds true that TF2 is just unoptimized. We're getting 56, 44, 41, 48. That's like the second lowest thing that I saw. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No one even gives a fuck. What the fuck is that message? It's still 10 frames below gmod scores, and I'm playing on a fucking FPS config. I don't look very nice. These textures don't look nice. This rubble doesn't look nice. This thing just looks absolutely beautiful. The FPS is kind of similar, yes, but it's still no comparison quality-wise. Look, now I'm at acceptable FPS levels for a normal gamer of the current generation in a single-player server staring at a fucking wall. Add some players and my FPS values right now, is core is almost 60. That just drops by 20 FPS. I get slightly over 30 FPS in a normal casual game. Correction, I meant to say under 30, but nothing more. And as soon as there's some action, I drop either to 25 FPS, or I just drop to a crippling halt at 16. At which point you basically have to resort to WM1ing because the chance of deflecting a rocket is basically 0%. Anything smarter than that actually requires timing is just borderline impossible. It's not just my PC's fault. I mean, it probably is to a great extent, but it's also TF2 just becoming progressively unplayable. Don't get me wrong, TF2 is a great game, but before Jungle Inferno, my FPS was decent. I mean, it still wasn't great back then, but it was at least still serviceable. And before Meteor Match, I think it might have even been a bit better. A casual matchmaking actually does seem to have at least a bit of an impact towards stability, overall stability of a game, and player counts. This is probably gonna be my last TF2 video for a while. I mean, I genuinely hope it's not gonna be the last one forever. I certainly hope that the entire FPS problem will be resolved in a future update, because I genuinely enjoy playing this game. You know, it's hard to play a game where you can't actually play it. And I know what I'm talking about, having lived with a Mac for 75% of my life. To be honest, who even gives a fuck about my opinion? I only have like, 30 subscribers or something. Minimal system requirements, hold on. Windows 7, 32, 64, whatever. I have that. This is Windows 10. 1.7 gigahertz processor or better. It's currently at 2 gigahertz. And it goes up to 2.3 gigahertz. 512 megabytes of RAM. Oh look, I have 8 times that. DirectX version 8.1. DirectX version 12. Network broadband internet connection. I totally have that. Storage 15 gigabytes available space. My TF2 folder is 24 gigs, and I literally deleted the entirety of my downloads folder. Recommended OS Windows 7 32 or 64 bits. Once again, I have that. Processor Pentium 4 processor. A Pentium 4. A fucking Pentium 4. I have a fucking Pentium 3 in my room. Like, memory 1 gigabyte RAM. I still have 4 times that. DirectX version 9. Once again. Broadband internet connection. Storage 15 gigabyte available space. Fuck's sake. I should not be recording YouTube videos while I'm sick. Fuck's sake. In fifth conclusion, TF2 is kind of shit.